How do you sort out the so-called jargon from real-world practices that work? Do the members of your organization find some business or technology advice utterly confusing? Welcome to Real Talk with Sam Holcman. In this program, we set the record straight, and in terms that business people and technology people can understand. Now, here is your host, Sam Holcman.
Welcome to this edition of Real Talk. I'm Sam Holcman, and the topic for this particular broadcast is, what questions should you ask about your enterprise architecture or business architecture instructor? Now, I'm not talking about the company that individual may work for or work with, but actually the individual that will provide you with training, workshop, certification, seminar, whatever you're comfortable with. So here's a set of guides that we would suggest. And there's just a number of questions that we strongly suggest ask prior to you parting with your hard-earned money or your company's hard-earned money. So here's the questions. They're just a handful. Question 1. Have you, the art instructor, actually done enterprise architecture or business architecture? Have you actually practiced in that field? What types of clients have you worked with? What size were they? What were the characteristics of those organizations? And approximately how many engagements in enterprise architecture or business architecture have you actually done? Number 2, please provide us with a video sample of you in action as an enterprise architecture or business architecture instructor. In other words, we want to see how you actually deliver these types of instructional activities that are there. We'd like you to then say, tell us about your contributions to the field of enterprise or business architectures. In other words, well beyond the classroom. Are you engaged in the communities? Are you adding value to the communities? Are you adding knowledge, understanding, or seminars types of things? LinkedIn webinars, seminars, podcasts, conferences, publications, books. Have you written any books on enterprise or business architecture? Any broadcasts? So contributions to the field. Next question. Now we're getting a little bit more in depth in this one. Define how you would approach a business architecture or enterprise architecture activity. In other words, outline the methodology that you're going to be telling us about in this workshop or training class or seminar. And what are the deliverables that you would expect out of an enterprise architecture or business architecture activity? Next question. At the end of the webinar, seminar, training session, workshop, what do your attendees end up with? In other words, what do they leave with in order for you to feel comfortable that they have mastered, within the context, of course, of the seminar, webinar, workshop, training session, so many different names here, of course. What are they leaving with? Tools, techniques, processes, methods, work breakdown structures, methodology, frameworks, examples, templates. What is it? Give us an extensive list of the things that you will provide to your attendees for their hard-earned dollars. Next question. Do you have any actual teaching experience? Yes, you may be a practitioner in enterprise or business architecture, but provide us with an understanding of the teaching experience that you've had and what that teaching involves. Is it just technology-based? Have you had any time talking about or explaining the concepts of stakeholders and technologists and who they are and what their deliverables are and what people actually understand? So what is your training experience? So when you're looking in a classroom, for example, and you see a number of faces that may be a little blank at this particular point. How would you actually react to those types of things? That all has to do with teaching experience. And then the last question, you as the instructor, what would you consider to be a measure of success when an attendee comes back to you? They've taken the course, they've taken the workshop, they've been certified. What is your comfort level in saying, you know what, that individual has done a great job. I'm pretty happy as the instructor that I've been able to provide this information to this individual or group. In other words, that's the satisfaction you would get as a teacher and instructor. So once again, in summary, have you actually done enterprise or business architecture? Give us an example, video example of you in action as an instructor. Define enterprise or business architecture and what those possible deliverables are. What are your contributions in the field of enterprise or business architecture? What's your approach to enterprise or business architecture, parentheses, the methodology or the process? What do your attendees end up with after the workshop or the seminar? And what's your teaching experience? And finally, as I said, what's the measure of success? I hope this helps. You're spending your hard-earned dollars, and we want to make sure that you're getting the best possible value for those hard-earned dollars.
So you want to advance your career and see enterprise architecture as a key component to this advancement. Or you're an enterprise architect and you want to be more effective in addressing business and technology needs. You want to create highly effective solutions that deal with the ever-evolving changes in businesses and organizations. But accumulating the knowledge and certification to do that can be a challenge. That's why EACOE created a one-of-a-kind certification workshop for enterprise architects. The workshops will teach you proven step-by-step enterprise architecture techniques that you can use for addressing continuous business and organizational change and give you the certification you need to progress in your career. Want to learn more? Then visit eacoe.org.
No travel? No problem. The Enterprise Architecture Center of Excellence and Business Architecture Center of Excellence are experts in offering distance learning enterprise architecture and business architecture certification workshops throughout the year. Your experience mirrors our face-to-face workshops and are not just remote broadcasts. You will collaborate in teams across the world, just as though you were across the table. For dates and registration, visit eacoe.org and bacoe.org.
Thanks for listening, and hopefully your selection provides you with what you need, which is a stakeholder-focused approach to enabling business, mission, and organizational strategy. Thanks for listening, and of course, it would be our pleasure to speak with you. Until next time, stay healthy, stay well, and go do real business architecture or real enterprise architecture.